It's the 29th day of April 2021. Good afternoon once again. Many thanks for staying with us. We're back with more updates. This is Citizen Briefs at 4 p.m. Now, members of parliament are at this moment debating the BBI report tabled by the Joint Legal and Justice Committee. Most members have urged their colleagues to seize this constitutional moment and approve the report. Some legislators, however, raised concern to the proposed Judicial Ombudsman's Office and the expanded Senate. Members of parliament expected to take a vote at the end of this debate. Let's listen in.
Sikukubaliana kamwe na wenzangu katika kamati waliosema kuwa ile sehemu ya pili ama schedule 2 kuwa ile si ya kikatiba. Sikukubaliana nao kwa sababu sote katika kamati tulikubaliana kuwa kipengele chochote, iwapo maoni yako unaona kuwa ni kinyume na katiba, lakini wananchi wa Kenya wakishapitisha katika kura ya maoni, sehemu hiyo inakuwa katiba. Na mimi hata hivyo sikubaliani pia hata hivi sasa kuwa sehemu hiyo ya katiba yenye kuorodhesha zile eneo bunge 70 kuwa ni kinyume cha katiba. Na sababu ni kuwa kwa sehemu 257 ya katiba yetu inatoa ruhusa Mkenya yoyote kuleta kipengele chochote au mswada wowote wa kubadilisha katiba. Hata hivyo Mkenya pia anaweza, kwa mfano kama ilivyoashiriwa jana na kiongozi wa walio wachache bungeni, mwananchi wa Kenya anaweza pia akaleta kipengele, kwa mfano akasema kuwa hataki kuwe na bunge humu nchini, pia anaweza akasema kuwa hataki kuwa na mahakama humu nchini, ama anataka mfumo tofauti sana, pengine tofauti sana na vile ambavyo tuko nao, na katiba inamruhusu kuleta kipengele hicho. Je, kipengele tu cha kuongeza eneo bunge? Na zaidi ya hapo, kando na haki, kwa sababu kuna baadhi ambao walikuwa wanataka waje bunge waseme kuwa tubadilishe hii sehemu ya mswada huo, na kamati yetu tumezungumza na naona Bwana Spika umekubaliana kuwa hatuwezi kubadilisha sehemu yoyote ya hii katiba, kwa sababu kuna njia mbili peke yake za kubadilisha katiba katika katiba yetu tulionayo sasa. Njia moja ni ya kibunge kupitia hapa bunge, kupitia wabunge wenyewe, na njia nyingine ni ya watu wa Kenya wengi ambao inaweza kupitishwa na Mkenya yoyote yule. Kwa hivyo
that is the Kwale woman representative giving her views as members of parliament debate the BBI report tabled by the Joint Legal and Justice Committee. And of course, they're expected to take a vote a bit later on in this parliamentary session. We switch gears, staying with parliamentary matters, however. The Jubilee Party Vice Chair, David Murathe, earlier today denied involvement in the KEMSA COVID-19 supply scandal. He appeared before the Parliamentary Public Investments Committee that was probing the matter and stated that he simply played the role of guarantor for Kilig Limited. Murathe further denied reports that he had used his position to influence KEMSA to award the tender and pay the respective company. Also appearing before the committee were directors of the Kilig company led by Wilbrod Gashoka, who was put to task to explain why he registered the company and sold it a few days after getting the commitment letter to supply 450,000 pieces of personal protective equipment.
This company is owned by William and Sue. They approach people who are saying they can finance it, who come through the lawyer, Bruce. They transfer the company to these new beneficial owners.
There's no those new. Are you referring to Bush?
Yes,
Bush. Yeah,
yes. He's acting on behalf of his clients.
Right.
These ones then are unable to do it, so the company then reverts because they can no longer do it. And by this time, remember, they have an extension. Then these guys come and say, look, these guys are unable to do it. These guys have the kits. These guys can give us to deliver to save face. And these guys then demand, open that account. And you, who is giving us comfort that these guys will pay, make sure you are part of it. Then when KEMSA says we don't have budgetary provision to continue with this commitment, everything stops. I cease being even a signatory. We cease any communication insofar as that matter is concerned. But if you ask anybody today, Murathe was paid 4 billion, or Murathe was involved in 4 billion.
Let's stay with KEMSA updates. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe have sacked the board of the Kenya Medical Supplies Agency and named a new 5-member team to serve in the board for the next 3 years. In a Gazette notice, President Kenyatta has revoked the appointment of Kembi Gitura and replaced him with Mary Chao Mwadime. Gitura's tenure was to expire next year, now cut short weeks after he was named as chair of the board of the Communications Authority. Health CS Mutahi Kagwe has sacked 4 board members and replaced them with Lawrence Wahome, Robert Nyarango, Terry Kiunge Ramadhani, and Linton Nyaga Kinywa. Those sacked are Timothy Mololo Waema, Dorothy Atieno Iwak, Bibiana Njue, and Joel Onsare Gesuka. And Njue and Gesuka have been at the board for the last 17 months. Now, the changes come in the midst of reforms being undertaken at KEMSA that has been embroiled in allegations of impropriety in the procurement of COVID-19 response materials since last year. The Kericho Deputy Governor Lilian Chepngetich Ngok has been sworn in to become the second deputy county boss. Ngok, who until her new role was the county's executive member in charge of education, has promised to push for the adoption of the cashless revenue collection system. The post of deputy governor fell vacant following the death of Susan Kikwai, who succumbed to COVID-19.
Now to join you with the team.
Albert Einstein by saying that the woman who follows the tears a fact that the global average of women,
the devolution laws, the flag and all those. Okay. We'll present them to
Your Excellency. Please accept my deepest appreciation for your demonstration of confidence in me, and most especially for demonstrating once again your firm belief in women empowerment. In appreciation of this, I shall endeavor to join you in propagating your vision and deliberate efforts to uplift women in all spheres.
3 people died in a road accident at the Makupa Causeway, Kibarani area in Mombasa County. The early morning accident involved a Kitui-bound matatu that is said to have lost control while on the upper road of the causeway before rolling down to the lower road. It was then hit by an oncoming canter truck from Nairobi. This caused a huge traffic snarl-up from Changamwe heading all the way into the island. The regional traffic commandant, Peter Maina, called on drivers to observe safety measures.
This morning at about 7 kuna gari 14 seater PSV ilikuwa inatoka area ya Makupa ikielekea Changamwe. Kufika Makupa Causeway ikapoteza mwelekeo na ikavuka the other side of the road. Imekutana na gari oncoming akanta, imegongana na tukapoteza watu 3. Wenye wamejeruhiwa bado hatujadhibitisha ni wangapi, na pia cause of the accident is still under investigation so far.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has admitted to the failure of the ruling party to prevent corruption during former President Jacob Zuma's rule. He said that the African National Congress, ANC, should have done more to prevent corruption, as gave his testimony before a judicial inquiry probing allegations of corruption during Zuma's term as president. He said the ANC had not lived up to the expectations of the South African people when it came to enforcing accountability, noting that corruption had undermined the rule of law.
We must acknowledge that the issue of state capture was a matter of great political contestation within the ANC. Differences over whether indeed state capture existed, its extent and form, and what should be done about it contributed to divisions within the National Executive Committee and other ANC structures. It is worth mentioning that one of the earliest claims made within ANC structures of the possibility that members of the Gupta family may have had an improper role in the functioning of the executive.
All right, let's